Good day, viewers. Welcome to my channel. It's my pleasure having you around. In today's episode, we are looking at one of my daddy's book, The Elixir of Immortality. This book was written by Reverend Christian. And today, we'll be looking at the topic, Elixir of Immortality. When Moses came to Horeb, the mountain of the Lord, he saw the bush burning without being consumed. This particular experience impacted Moses and greatly influenced his life and ministry. The ability of Moses to relate with this bizarre experience was what made him successful in his ministry. It was what happened in Moses that empowered him to relate with that experience. It is the way we are that determines how we see things. We are made in a way that we are expected to take responsibility for our lives and destinies. We are made in the image and likeness of God. Being made in the image and likeness of God commands us to preserve our lives and establish our individual destinies. Until corruption came into the life of man, death was far away from him. But when corruption came into man, he lost charge of his life. The experience Moses had in Horeb was why his eyes couldn't dim at the age of 120 years. God preserved him because Moses preserved himself. The way God relates with us is controlled by how we relate with ourselves. The natural strength of Moses couldn't be abated because he took ideological responsibility for his only life. If Satan must not introduce destructive pain into our lives, we must be shielded by the painful fire of Elixir. The excruciating process that took the biological life of Jesus Christ was one of the reasons why it was possible for him to rise from the grave. Wounds from God shields the wounded from the wounds of Satan. God stores the glory of preservation in the wounded side of every visionary man. It is what we pass through that is meant to introduce us to the divine preservation of God. All who are dead were killed by the evil they lacked ability to control. No man is meant to be killed by what enters into him, but by whatever is produced from him. Those who are sufficiently shielded by God are not always wounded by the spirit of darkness. It is possible for an evil to be inside us without being active. The devastation that a particular sickness or infirmity achieves in our lives is controlled by how we relate with it. The Elixir of Immortality disallowed the functioning power of sicknesses in the lives of men like Moses, Elijah, and Jesus Christ. If God must pay special attention to any man, such a man must pay special attention to himself. There are certain rich destinies that God must not allow us to enjoy until we pay special attention to ourselves. Whatever we allow in our lives, God will preserve it in heaven. But whatsoever we disallow in our lives will not be tolerated in heaven. It is the tool that men provide for God that he works with. Getting old is evil, and if we must not get old, we must learn to protect ourselves from spiritual and mental invasion. Because of the nature of this millennium, we must learn to fellowship with the new revelation God is unveiling to us. Since we can't separate our lives from what we are seeing, we need to pay more dedicated attention to the new things God is revealing to us. We are all meant to live from our bodies. If we must not grow old, we must learn to protect our bones. The bone of every man is the strongest part of that man, and it is the last part of a man to decay if the man dies. So many people are dead because they got infected in their bones, and the infection got into other parts of their bodies. Through meditation, those who must not die are expected to pass living light into their bones. Passing Christ, the light of God's word, into his bone was one of the reasons why the man Jesus rose from the grave. Thank you for listening. We have actually come to the end of today's episode. I will see you same time next week. Bye.